All right, so today we're going to dive deep into a real conservation success story.
Ooh, I like it.
The black-footed ferret.
I'm excited.
Now, this little guy, he's a predator,
Mm-hmm.
a nocturnal one living out on the North American prairies.
Yep, used to be a pretty common sight.
Used to be, but then, well, they kind of just vanished, it seemed like.
It's a fascinating story, really.
For sure, so let's get into it.
Okay, so the black-footed ferret, their story, it really highlights how everything's connected in these ecosystems.
Oh, like how?
Well, their decline, it's directly related to what happened to their main food source.
Which is?
Prairie dogs.
Ah, of course.
Huge colonies stretching for miles.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. It's amazing.
But as people moved west, start farming, those prairie dog towns were seen as, well, a problem.
Sentence, yeah.
Exactly, and so they were wiped out systematically.
So by the 80s, I mean, they thought these ferrets were gone, completely extinct.
Yeah, declared extinct in the wild, can you imagine?
It's heartbreaking, all that work to protect them, and then poof.
But there's a twist.
Always a twist.
A few years later, a rancher in Wyoming, his dog, brought home a dead ferret.
No way.
Yep, led them right to a small colony that had survived.
Talk about a mix of emotions, shock, and elation all at once.
Absolutely, a real turning point.
So how do you go from this last-minute discovery, to a full-blown conservation effort?
Well, they had to act fast and think big.
I bet.
Captive breeding, that was essential.
Makes sense. Get those numbers up.
Right, but it wasn't easy. They had to get creative, artificial insemination, all that, to make sure there was enough genetic diversity.
Wow, dedicated.
They even had to overcome some challenges, like low fertility rates in captivity.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem.
But at the same time, they started working on getting these captive-bred ferrets back into the wild.
That sounds super complex.
Oh, it is. It's not just open the cage and good luck, little buddy.
No, I figured.
You gotta be strategic, understand how these ferrets behave, where to release them, how to get them used to living in the wild again.
Right, because they've never had to hunt for their own food or avoid predators.
Exactly, gotta protect them from coyotes, eagles, all those guys.
Speaking of which, I mean, the habitat has to be right, or it's all for nothing.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely, which brings us back to our friend, the prairie dog.
So, how do you go about restoring those colonies?
It's a multi-pronged approach, working with landowners, managing those prairie dog populations.
Matching.
Yeah, sometimes even relocating them to create bigger, more connected habitats for the ferrets.
Huh, that makes sense.
Plus, predator control in some areas. Gotta give those ferrets a fighting chance.
So, all this effort, I mean, the breeding, the releases, the habitat work, has it paid off?
Well, it's pretty incredible. Against all odds, they brought the black-footed ferret back from the brink.
That's amazing.
They're still endangered, but the wild population, over 300 now.
That's fantastic. Really shows what can happen when science and conservation efforts come together.
It really does makes you wonder what other species could benefit from this kind of approach.
Yeah, are there lessons from the black-footed ferret that we can apply elsewhere?
That's a good question, something to think about.
Definitely. So for all our listeners out there, maybe this has inspired you to learn more about other conservation success stories.
Or even get involved, help protect vulnerable species in your own area.
You know, even small actions can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you next time with another fascinating story for the world of conservation.
See ya.
Bye.